What is up, everyone? Welcome to Plastic Cards Podcast, a show where we break down the video game news of the week. My name is Fonzie. I'm joined by my co-host, Gavaroni Jones. Gavin, it's been a while. How you been?
I've been good. It's been a lot.
It's been a lot.
Been a lot of weeks.
Yeah, how many weeks?
But we're approaching the greatest holiday, the reason for the season, Halloween coming up here.
Yes.
I'm excited. I've decided this year going as Shaggy. I don't know how I haven't done it up until this point.
Yeah, that's crazy. It'd be perfect as Shaggy.
Now that my girlfriend has a giant fucking dog,
there you go.
we're gonna do Shaggy.
And you really just get a collar, like the Scooby-Doo collar for the dog. Did you not even think that? Just say,
I'm a dumb.
the dog is Shaggy.
I'm a dumb. Yeah, I may make it out of paper or something.
That's
Yeah.
awesome, though.
Yeah,
Yeah, Halloween is what, a week away?
I think 2.
And it's on a Sunday. It's super lame, but
It's on a Sunday?
yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that. So
The
I gotta
party
get
day
home that
is Friday.
day. Oh.
all the parties are Friday, I'm sure.
Maybe I should just take Monday off.
You
That
should.
Seems fair.
Yep, it's the Lord's Day.
It's the Lord's
The
Day.
day after Halloween.
And on the 8th day, he also rested because, like, come on, dude. We don't mention the 8th day. Let's be real.
I think really rest for like a couple billion years, really. Like after Earth started, I'm gonna head out.
But what have you been up to? What you been watching?
Nothing, man. We're moving. We moved rather, and like it's all set up. So
Yeah.
we need to get back into Squid Game. I think we're like almost at the end at episode 7 or 8. Such a dope show. I don't know if you've watched it at all, but
Yeah, I watched more. I didn't realize. I thought when we last talked, we had just finished the same episode.
yeah.
I thought it was 2 from the end. It's actually 3.
Oh, okay.
So you might be slightly further off if you haven't watched more.
I think I did watch a spoiler though. SNL did a parody thing, and I kind of think I'm not sure how like parody it was at the end of this skit. Don't know exactly what happens, but I kind of now have a vibe for what's going on. But I'm gonna watch it.
I will have to finish. I did watch that I think it was brilliant doing a country music video where the only way to get out of the situation is to join Squid Games. That's fucking brilliant. So points to whoever came up with that. But I didn't see any spoilers, but I also didn't finish it.
Oh, the skit?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, it's not the end of the world, but yeah,
No.
something happened.
God, that show is good. It's you
dope.
can see why it's hit off. Like we have several generations now. It's not just the millennials. It's like the millennials,
Yep.
the Gen Z or Gen Ys, whatever. We're all kind of fucked. So yeah, I'd Squid Game. I'd Squid Game it up. I'd die, but that's also my other exit plan. So
Right. Either way, I win in the end. How far do you think you'd get from at least the games that you know of? Because at least the first one, which isn't really a spoiler, it's like in the trailer, the stop, go, freeze, whatever that game is.
I might get 1 or 2 in, but I found in like sports or games, like I don't really have a killer instinct. Like if the other guy wants to win more than me, which they usually do, I'm like, that's fine. You go ahead and have the win. You seem to want it.
Well, it's not for you then, because
Like wrestling, I'm like, man, this hurts, and you really want it. I'm good.
yeah, but in Squid Games do that, and you're fucking dead. So
Yeah.
it's not the right place. Although in that first episode, they're realizing like, oh shit, like we're gonna die if we don't play this game. But it should kind of you should figure out quickly. Like once they start to take out the first dudes, everyone freaks out and starts running, and then the thing starts just mowing people down. But you should go, oh, okay, we have to play, otherwise we die.
Yeah.
Like you think they would, but they just mowed down like 40 people.
Right. No, it was like 200 people.
Oh yeah, true.
I think one thing I really like from it is like right off the bat, you don't like the main character.
Am I liking it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like one of the greatest freaking shows I've ever watched. It is kind of heavy, so it's like you can't watch it all the time. And then Megan's into this book right now, so she's like, pause this, I want to go read a book. So I'm like, okay. So we'll never get to this freaking show, but
I think this is a good lesson. Like if you ramp up the fucked upness, then you can definitely get people in the door. And now we're stuck in the door, so we have to see how it ends.
do you think, because the show's gone, it's been massive now. It's like they bought it for whatever, 20 something million. It's made Netflix like 900 million. I was reading the other day.
So, like biggest launch ever.
Yeah, biggest launch. It has the most views as far as any Netflix show ever. Do you think they still avoid an American version of this, or can we just have Squid Games alone, like left alone?
Yeah, I think at this point we avoid an American version, but
because it's not going to add anything or make it any cooler. It's like this show is dope.
I do think they didn't get the best voice actors for it, but I think that's kind of fine.
Gotcha. I'm watching in just like Korean with the subtitles because I've heard that
I hear that's better.
Yeah, because I know initially I heard that the English stuff was like the dubs were kind of weird. So
it's not good, but I think you get through it. My hope is that this brings in a lot more Korean films, a lot more Asian films in general,
I think it will.
into the American zeitgeist.
Yeah, because money talks. So these big studios go, oh, people want Korean stuff, so they're just going to greenlight everything. Right. We might get a lot of crap, but like it's going to even out after a while. Right. But to see a show get that insane, but then it's not like this is the first Korean show out of nowhere. There was a while ago. There's a really awesome Korean director. They won a couple Academy Awards for it. Man, I forget what it's called, but it's like two families that are living together.
Oh, are you talking about?
We didn't finish it because it was a lot.
The fuck was that? I remember the Binging with Babish where they make it's like a ramen bowl, but with like a really expensive meat.
Right.
What was that called? I hear it was great.
It's like the Creepies or something. I know that's what it's called.
Yeah, something like that.
But
I just remember I popped into like some buddies were watching it on Discord and I popped in halfway through and they were shit-faced and no one wants to be the sober guy in a crew.
Yeah.
Just
it's like, hey, mop yourself up, man. Like, you don't want to do that. But I think because that one was maybe one of the biggest ones out of the gate, at least recently, I think, the tide is turning where just like stuff internationally in general is going to, have more of a play when before it didn't because it's like, oh, that's foreign. Americans aren't going to like it. But we've proven that,
I would like to learn more about like the differences between like Korean movie making and Korean TV because I hear a lot about like my girlfriend watches a lot of Korean romantic I don't know, rom-com TV shows, right?
Okay.
And that's a big thing over there in Korea. And like people kind of make fun of like they're way different than ours. Like sex is just not a thing that happens.
Ever on those shows?
Yeah, it's like weirdly implied, but it's definitely not happening. Or like, and I'm probably messing up some of these stereotypes, but it's definitely a thing. And like another big one was, was it like the sexual tension, right? Like in American shows, like they'll build up the sexual tension and build it, and then it releases. In Korean dramas, they will build it and build it and build it and build it and build it ad nauseum.
They just edge forever, or what are they?
Yeah, they're edging forever. But it seems like movies like in this one, like the sex was there.
Yeah, there's at least one scene that I've seen. It was weird in a bathroom, but yeah it happened.
Yeah, stuff was like so it's that stuff is there.
But I didn't need it in the show itself. It's like it was just kind of okay, it's there. No. But
I think it was good for that character. Yeah, you'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know. It worked with these characters. I like the characters. I even liked the bad guys. I loved hating the bad guys. They wrote good bad guys.
Oh, yeah.
So
even that main dude you mentioned before the fucking sky fell down, that main guy, you hate him. He's a piece of shit, but I can already tell he has an arc. Like it's changing. He's becoming more redeemable. That main dude who was like gambling and stuff. Like I can tell he's becoming more of he's starting to kind of grasp, how to not be an asshole. So I like that. I don't know if that's going to fully change or he's going to go right back to it. But
I think maybe that's the thing with it is kind of like somebody's brought this up with like Paddington Bear, the movie, which is Paddington
related. Yeah.
Apparently it's a really good movie, but apparently Paddington does not have a character arc. What he does is change everyone around him.
Okay. There's something to that, like a Mary Poppins kind of thing or something. Yeah. I get that.
Yeah.
Gotcha. That's cool. Yeah. So I've been watching that. You know what? I haven't been watching much else, but I did buy Far Cry 6.
Oh, fuck.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Damn.
I didn't expect that reaction, but yeah.
I mean, I kind of want to play. I also haven't played, like, I've been told with this one, like, don't buy it if you've played any of the previous, like, Far Cry since 3.
I don't know.
And I haven't, so I got to jump back in at some point.
Have you not played any of them?
I played
3?
I played 2 and 3. I haven't played anything since.
Really?
Well, and I played a bit of Blood Dragon, but that also used to destroy my old computer on the regular.
And Blood Dragon's like way back too.
Yeah. I always forget though. I forgot that Power Glove made that soundtrack for Blood Dragon because I have those songs regularly in my playlist. So when I start playing again, I'm like, oh, that's right. That's what this was for.
That's awesome. I actually never finished Blood Dragon, but I like that was kind of the start of them doing their weird, wacky DLC stuff.
Yeah.
In addition to like the main releases, which is really cool. I can't wait to see what they do with Far Cry 6 as far as like the weird wacky thing. But been playing it. I'm about 4 hours in. I really like it. So I understand, and some of the review stuff that came out with it when it launched was complaints over the fact that it's kind of the same experience. And you mentioned somebody telling you that same thing. And I do understand that. At the same time, it's still fun. You know, it is more of the same Far Cry, but it's fun. So it's like, I think this is probably the peak of where they do need to make some adjustments. But at the moment, Far Cry 6 is still awesome and fun to play. It's more of what you want if you like that type of game. But yeah, maybe going forward, they do need to kind of switch it up. Maybe not like an engine overhaul, but some kind of new mechanics stuff thrown in there. They change the setting every time, but it's like still the same gameplay.
Do you feel, so the thing I was most excited about jumping into this is it looked like from the original trailer, maybe they were going to do a bit more city stuff. Is that the way it's turned out?
So far, I haven't been to any of the hub cities, but the map is massive. It's pretty crazy. So I'm sure there are these main city areas. I haven't been to them yet. I don't know about the traversal in those cities because the way you kind of move around, it's not like Spider-Man where you can just kind of like go everywhere where you want, shoot your web, shoot your rope. I think you have your grappling hook, but it's like designated movement areas. So I think even though they might have the city, it's like I think you're still going to be limited to where you can move. But that could be the next thing that they work on, like some kind of overhaul on the traversal itself. Yeah. But no, it's still fun. It's actually really, really gorgeous. It's one of the best looking games I played on PS5. Although balanced with that, there's still times where it kind of chugs and like screen tears, even though I'm playing on a console.
Oh, okay. You chose the...
Yeah, I went on PS5.
You have the beefiest fucking PC, and you're like, you know what? I'm going to play on something less powerful.
You know, it's the ease of having the console like at the TV, and I know it's locked at 60, so I just kind of... Sometimes I do prefer it there. And then reading some of the spec requirements for PC, it seemed pretty demanding. So I thought, you know what? I'll play this on console. But I'm having a blast. It is really fun. It is more Far Cry, so it's like if you don't like them, then you're not gonna like this one. But yeah, I think they have to go to the drawing board after this. I imagine to kind of just spice it up a little bit. I don't think they need a crazy overhaul, but just little bits. I think they can improve it.
Give me my Far Cry 2 again.
Yeah, they really haven't.
It was so good, and
they haven't gone
played it.
Yeah, that was one of the. I guess I could look up sales, but I imagine that one is just not. As well received. I think critically it was, maybe not sales wise, because no one ever talks about it. But yeah, it would be interesting because they have now all these different entries. They could go back and start doing the remaster thing. Like we saw that with Crysis. That could be dope.
Oh, I kind of want to check out the new Crysis remix.
Yeah, was it 2 and 3 dropped or just 2?
I think it's all of them, but maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong.
I did see Digital Foundry talked about the second one because I think the second and third are like separate releases each.
I think they do it very well from a perspective of like it. This is going to be a weird comparison, but they almost remind me of BioShock in the fact that these games are actually legit very linear, but the corridor you're being shuffled down is fucking wide as hell.
Yeah.
So just do with it what you will, albeit Crysis is not an RPG. And that's fun. Shove me down a wide, hallway.
Right.
So I think they were fun.
Yeah, no, and I think at least with Far Cry, they nail it. They do something, so it's a way more open world, but you do kind of have the same tactics that you'll find or you'll end up following. I would like if they're going to start to overhaul or kind of change things in the next release, it's the same mechanics. So like when you sneak up behind someone and do your melee kill, it's very wonky where they lock it to the animation to then so you can actually lock onto them and like kill them. That's kind of janky. It's like I wish they would kind of work on that a bit where if you do want to play stealthily you can, or if you want to play balls out you can do the action route, similar to how Arcane has done with Deathloop and all of their series. Really, they really balance like the gunplay with being sneaky and using your powers and stuff. I want them to kind of start to steal little aspects of what they've done because I think it could be really dope.
Now, speaking of Deathloop, they put out an update helping with the NPC AI.
I heard about this. I haven't tried it.
Make you want to jump back? I know that was the thing that bugged you.
It does, and I was debating even buying this because I have so many games I need to play already, but I ended up just jumping in because I'm a piece of shit. But I do want to finish because I never finished Deathloop, so I need to finish it. Right. The overhaul of the enemy AI sounds really interesting. I know they worked on some bug stuff. That is on the docket, but we'll see how far I get with Far Cry 6. I never finished 5 either. I got pretty damn far, but I never finished it. But these games you can play forever. And they're fun to just like pop in, play for a bit and then like leave. It's very pick up and play kind of gameplay.
Something I wonder. So I don't know if you played 4, 5, and 6.
I did.
Something I loved out of 3 was they just drug you the fuck up, and those scenes got so weird and twisted, and probably took a lot of creative juice to actually make happen in a game. Do they do that in 4, 5, and 6 at all?
They do. So in 4, you're in. It's almost like a North Korea kind of area. They have a drug thing there that you'll take and you'll flip out.
Fuck.
Yeah.
You had the guy in the pink suit.
Yeah, Troy Baker was the villain in that one.
Is that who played?
Yes. Yep.
Well,
And
Man Crush.
they do the magic or the drug hallucinations, which is really dope. They do that in 5 as well, where you're somewhere in like Iowa, whatever, middle of the country. They do that. They have a drug that they're making in that world, and then you take it, of course, and have crazy hallucinations. In this one, I haven't seen anything like that yet. There is a drug that you will kind of burn and weed out of the area, but it doesn't seem like it gives you any kind of hallucinogen stuff. It's more of like a poison gas. So, but that opens it up to they could do that here. I imagine they will, because that's like kind of a staple with Far Cry.
I did see an article very recently about like this church off in I forget what state that purchased like a fuck ton of land, and this is a church that like worships with like gun in hand, like rifle in hand. I'm like, that's Far Cry 5.
Right. I was gonna say, did they take inspiration from Far Cry 5?
Oh, they brought back the pulling the bullet out with a wrench. That's awful. I think that was one of my things I hated the most about Far Cry 2 was so they did have sometimes you pull it out with a wrench, and sometimes you would pull it out with your teeth, and the noise they did for pulling it out with your teeth, I can like it hurts my jaw.
Yeah. Yeah, that thing has never left. Like they always kind of change up what you're doing. You might snap a bone back into place, or in this case, you'll light like a cigar, like a Cuban cigar, and like burn, cauterize a wound. So that's definitely there. Although those end up being more of a nuisance, like they're cool to see, but when I'm trying to heal during battle, it's just another animation that I'm locked into doing, and it's kind of frustrating. Same thing with reloading. I imagine you can have perks that make reloading faster, but dealing with that, and then you have an enemy right in front of you, and they push you down. Like I wish you could do that drop kick like in Deathloop, where you can just you feel like at close quarters you're still someone that can compete, but like in this case, I'm always stuck with somebody next to me, and I can't do anything about it. Fast enough anyways.
You just got me thinking of I watched girlfriend reviews for Deathloop, and they were kind of negative on it, but they did do their own trailer for it, which is just that one, like I think it was like a 90s rap song of "Can I kick it? I can kick it," and that was the whole thing. It's just them kicking people.
It's so satisfying to kick people in that game.
I did not do that much kicking, because if you kick them over a railing, they can't drop guns or perks or anything.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
why would I lose out on
I guess some of the like minuscule dudes, cronies, I would kick them all day, but
sure.
Yeah, that's what I mean though. Like if they could borrow more from Arcane, there's a game that Arcane has made and Ubisoft has made, Far Cry. There's something in the middle that is perfect. It's like I wish they could blend those because they're right on the money. And I actually really like Deathloop. I don't really have any negative stuff to say, but with Far Cry, they could really use some influence from Arcane.
Sure.
But having a blast, it is fun. But it is more Far Cry 6 or more Far Cry. But yeah.
Right.
This isn't, so you haven't played any of them? Are they not on your radar at all?
I mean, not since 3, which I loved 3. I like the fact that, spoiler for God, I don't want to count how old that game is.
It's probably 15 years.
Fuck off.
Well, maybe not 15. I would say 10. It's too much.
Yeah, it's at least 10.
Yeah.
I'm so old, my joints.
Yep.
That's a new thing. I think I'm getting arthritis in my pinkies.
My knees do that. They crack when I bend over. Yeah.
Well, this I broke, and I've heard if you break something, you get early arthritis in it.
Oh, how'd you break it?
Wrestling.
Oh,
So I
damn.
shot in on somebody, and I.
Oh, when you came up, was it like all twisted to the side? Like, was it obvious? Oh, okay.
No, it was not obvious, but I was in a ton of pain, and I was like, whatever.
And everybody's like, we make this better. Let's deflate one of the lungs too.
Where were we going before I got distracted?
You broke your foot doing something,
No.
but I don't know. You haven't had since 3. You haven't played many Far Cry's.
Yeah, I haven't.
Are you just not into the open world action stuff though, or like?
I mean, I liked it, but I hear it's just the same thing.
But even after like 3 though, like 4 didn't interest you, 5.
Well, I thought 3 was interesting in the fact that basically it's revealed over the course of the game, you're a fucking psychopath. You enjoy murdering people.
True.
And the option at the end of the game is go back with your friends or accept that you want to stay in this fucked up world and murder people.
Interesting. I think, yeah, maybe you're right where that was one of the ones that pushed a weirder narrative with the protagonist more than the other ones. After that, you're kind of the obvious good guy trying to fix the world, right. Especially in 5 and then in 6, I think. So for sure, you're kind of you're a guerrilla, you're a warfighter trying to save this country from a crazy dictator. So yeah, maybe they could, that would interest you more if they delved into some like a weird, protagonist.
Ooh, something are we bringing up this week? That new announcement with Battlefield about they basically kind of have their own Tarkov mode.
No, I didn't hear that.
Okay, I forget what the mode is called.
I know your balls deep in your Battlefield.
Or other.
Battlefield Hard. Battlefield Hard.
Battlefield Hard.
There's Hardline.
19. Shit. Battlefield
2042 and then Hard.
2042. Hard Zone. Man, what a terrible name. That means jack nothing.
It's a hard zone, man. I put that on the front of my door.
Well, I introduce you to my hard zone, eh?
Hard zone trailer.
But I did want to bring up before we start getting into this stuff. So games I've been playing this week. Although I've been watching a shit ton of. I finished Squid Games. I think one thing this has finally dispelled me of. I wasn't sure if it was a thing, but I've watched so many Korean movies that don't know how to end. Okay. And it's made me really sad because they've been movies I really, really like.
They just stop.
They just don't know how to fucking end themselves. Like, and this, it knows how to end itself. It only gets worse. Like, it's not going to have a happy ending.
You had me at worse.
And I'm glad it doesn't have a happy ending. Don't give Squid Games a happy ending.
I don't think it does. What's the name of the Korean show you're watching?
Well, there's been a bunch of things over the years. So that I watched more Mars Attacks. It's fucking amazing.
Yep.
I love it. Watched a little bit more What We Do in the Shadows. But the biggest thing that I got to say, so Squid Games is very depressing.
Yeah.
And so I can't marathon it.
No, there are fun moments, but yeah, overall, yeah, it's pretty depressing.
So to break it up, we were watching The Righteous Gemstones.
Oh yeah,
that show is such a fucking delight.
Yes, it's awesome.
I did not think I would like it, and I'm absolutely loving it. So that has been.
Danny McBride, the guy from Workaholics.
We should know his name.
I forget. Oh, you know what? It's Adam Levine, or it sounds like the dude who's in Maroon 5. But it's one or the other. Mm-hmm. One of them super jacked, and there's the other guy, and it's one of those guys.
And then the big famous guy who we don't even list. He's also barely in the show.
From Roseanne, the dad.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about the fact that he's barely in it.
Yeah, maybe in the next season. I forget.
Oh, so that means he's surviving the first season then.
I don't know.
Spoilers!
Well, I guess spoilers on top of spoilers.
I was pretty sure. I had a feeling it was leading up to they were going to kill him. So because the kids are pretty fucked up. So I could see them easily killing him to get his fortune, take over his empire. That being said, they brought in so it's pretty interesting.
I don't know. They do have loyalty and stuff, so I don't think that would happen. But
do they have any fucking loyalty?
Yeah,
I think the daughter is the only one with loyalty to their father,
and she's hilarious too. I don't know her name. She's awesome. Yeah, but that's a great show. We watched Bond, the new Bond. Told you about that.
Oh, that's right. You liked it?
Oh yeah, awesome. But I just love the Daniel Craig Bond movies. I haven't watched a ton of the older ones. I remember vaguely like the Pierce Brosnan era, but they were just so like off the rails. This one, I love how more grounded it is, but it's also crazy at times. They're just really good. And Daniel Craig he can still get it. He's so dope.
I did like his cameo on the most recent episode of SNL.
Yeah, he popped in
nowhere.
Yeah, because Rami Malek hosted, and he's a good villain too. Like he's in the new one. Man, just so dope. The way they ended too, and they pretty much end Daniel Craig's run. And he said, although since like the second one, it's like, this is my last Bond. It's like, okay, cool, dude. I think they just keep backing up the truck. So he's like, all right, I'll do it.
I wonder how old he is. I have no clue.
He's like 52, 51, something like that. He's not that old. Oh. But I imagine they wear and tear on him. I watched an interview with him.
Oh damn. No.
That can't be
not real. That cannot be. You just.
Good God.
What the fuck?
That's not that. I don't think that's that far from now. He's promoting No Time to Die, so that was at least last year or this year.
I need a canteen because I'm thirsty as fuck right now.
Damn, Daniel.
He's
Okay.
also rocking mom jeans, which I heavily object to.
Are those?
Yeah, look how high those are up.
Well, mommy, back it up. I'm gonna answer that phone call. I'll tell you what.
Like he's got no wrinkles down here, and he's had wrinkles on his face since he was like 13. What the fuck is this?
Yeah, I don't understand. He's a specimen. So he is, 53? Yeah,
Wow.
not too old. Not too old.
Not too old.
But I loved his take on Bond, which me and Megan like went down the rabbit hole of watching these YouTube videos. He started in 2007, 2008 with Bond, so he's been doing it for a minute.
Yep. That was
so he's kind of aged on screen.
Yeah.
Like if you watch Casino Royale, he's still like he's older, but he's not old at all visually. And then like towards the end, yeah, he is showing his age, but they kind of play into it in the latest Bond. So he's a weathered Bond, like he's he's still like dealing with these younger agents coming up. It's really good.
Have I ever given you my critique of Casino Royale?
Yeah, you did. Because last time, a couple weeks ago, we started watching them again, and you're like, "Oh, they gamble, and the gambling's weird." It's like, I get it, man, but it's
every
Bond.
time it's like, I'm all in. Oh, I lost. Oh, we got to figure out some way to get me more money. I'm all in again.
Yes, but if you watch the movie, he's a young Bond. He's full of himself. He's learning on the job, and it's the stakes are high.
Literally everyone he fucks dies that movie. He fucks like 4 people.
Yeah, I think in the second one that happens again. He doesn't learn.
Just stop fucking people at that point. You have a cursed dick.
He's Bond. I don't think it's in his vocabulary. But they set up, I don't think they're going to go this route, but they set up a new Bond, possibly in this last one, that seems really cool. I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think this kind of ends this universe of Bond, and they're going to reboot it again. But the way they possibly could take it seems really cool for like a new Bond. I don't think that's going to happen, but I like that. I'm just really a big fan of these universes, these characters that are staples, but they have a run and they go, okay, let's switch it up. Let's do something different. Similar to Batman, which is a segue to that new one. That's such a well-loved character that they've done new iterations every couple of years. Like they're not stuck with Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. He's fucking Iron Man. So, and they're kind of stuck where it's like, what do we do? How do we, reboot this, change it up?
See, but here's the important thing with this new Batman. This is not, to my understanding, this is not the origin story, which that's the problem with so many of these superheroes. We've heard this origin story 1,000 fucking times. To my understanding, this is not the origin story. This is year 1, which is different.
Now, okay, hold your batarang, because every time they do it, it's always a different version of Batman. So it's like whether they show the origin or not.
Same origin story for the like. It's either the Joker, it's not the Joker. What else has changed?
They follow the comics a lot, where it's like they have all these different runs, different origins, and they kind of play into that with every movie. So in all of the movies, they have shown, at the very least, it's almost like a joke now, the death of his parents. I don't think they do that again this time, but you're right, where it's this version of Batman. It's a year, 2 years in. So he's kind of been through the ropes. It's not going to be from the get-go as they have been. But I think that's something you earn that once the character's established, especially since we watched their parents die.
Zoe Kravitz in this?
Oh yeah.
All right, I'm in it. I
She's
don't care.
She's Catwoman, man.
That being said, one thing I did like is you can pause it for 2 seconds before it starts. The Telltale Batman story I thought was interesting because they did the origin story, but they like the fact that it wasn't the pearls, right? Because the pearls are a very important thing. Instead of the pearls being torn from his mother's neck as they're, doing the robbery, it was a thing of roses. And somehow they made that very tactile and important in the story.
Gotcha.
Which is pretty cool.
See, I've never played the Telltale ones, but they were really killing it with a lot of their story-based version of these characters. But I know people loved this one. The Walking Dead, of course, is like the one of the games you have to play. I've never played it, but that's eventually down the line.
I don't think you have to play it. I
think if you're a Batman fan, then for sure you would have already played it by now.
To my understanding, out of all their games, from what people played, I would recommend you play Borderlands. That's the one people rant and fucking rave about, is their Borderlands.
Is it still the same gameplay Borderlands, or it's just the story-based stuff?
One of these.
Gotcha.
But also, this is essentially the same art style, but apparently the story was super good.
Yeah, they did nothing to their engine in the 15 plus years they made these games.
But I thought was interesting. Like, the Penguin was like your friend, so you're dealing with like he's kind of going down a dark road, and you're trying to lead him back onto the path.
Gotcha.
That's pretty cool.
Interesting. I like that take on it.
That's Selena Kyle. I'm pretty sure at this
Catwoman.
point, I think she knows. You know that she knows that who you are,
Gotcha.
so you're fucked.
I see.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's always his deal. He has to keep his identity private. That too. But yeah, I was unpacking stuff all day, so I had no intention of watching the DC fandom event. But we're packing stuff or unpacking and played the whole stream and watched this when it came out.
Do we know who this is by the end of this trailer?
So they've actually announced it.
This looks like the blonde girl from the Goonies.
Yes, they confirmed that's who's playing the Joker or the Riddler. No, so it's a guy you've known. He's been in a bunch of movies. He plays a perfect weirdo, so he's gonna kill it as Riddler, I imagine. So Paul Dano, this guy here.
I don't know him much.
Yeah, he was in.
I almost would have taken the guy that played Scarecrow last time as.
He could be cool too, but he was in Looper. He was in. He was one of the friends that dies. Little Miss Sunshine. Okay. He was in that.
I know that's good. I still need to see it.
Oh yeah, that one's really good.
It's essential watching.
He's in a bunch of stuff, man.
12 Years a Slave, Swiss Army Man. This is all gold.
Yeah, Swiss Army Man was with Daniel Radcliffe. Oh, this one's really good. It's super weird.
I've told you you're either gonna love it or you're gonna fucking hate it.
I loved it. I thought it was really cool. I love that Daniel. Is it Daniel? Not Daniel Craig.
Daniel Radcliffe.
Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah, he just does what he wants now.
Yeah, that's what I fucking love. After such a big property or franchise like the wands with the Harry Potter.
Yeah.
You're a wizard, Harry. After that, for him to just go, you know what? I want to do whatever I want.
Well, and I heard the stage play where he goes dicks out was pretty good too.
Yep. I forget the name of that, but he did that too. He did a Hot Ones that was really good. He's done a bunch of interviews. It seems like a cool guy. Very similar to the guy from Lord of the Rings, the main dude, Frodo.
This guy looks like legit. You could tell somebody you went to school with this guy, and everyone would believe you. Look at that lower picture. If you click next.
Okay, yeah. I'll just do that.
You went to school with that guy.
Yes.
Tell me I'm wrong.
There's 900,000 kids like this. Yeah. Yeah. No, he's good.
Oh,
looking dapper
though. You getting it there,
right? But he's a great, just like weird character in really all his movies. So him like leaning into a villain character seems really, really interesting. But yeah, he is. They don't show him in the trailer, but he is playing the Riddler.
I wonder if they go into. So he actually played a pivotal role in that was one of the animated ones I watched. I heard Batman Hush was good, and he played a pivotal role in that.
The Riddler.
So I'd be curious if maybe they're making a play at Batman Hush.
Yeah, it's always now picking apart the trailers and figuring out like what's the influence for this new take. From what comics are they actually pulling from?
I do love what's his name, Robert Pattinson though. He has some fucking chops.
He's a great actor.
Yeah.
He's another one, just like we're talking about Daniel Radcliffe, where after Twilight, he just started to do whatever he wanted to do and almost strayed away from these big budget, properties. So for him to come back to Batman, he's a great actor. He's going to nail it. And this one, watch the trailer, but it's very dark. Every Batman that comes out is always like, oh, this one's darker. Like, no, this one, he's like beating the shit out of people.
It's so crazy about him and the other person in that film, cleared their fucking names of that franchise afterwards. Because I hate, when those movies are out, I hated both of them.
I forget her name, but now. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, Megan loves them, but I think because it was so big, I think as an actor, you kind of want to just do your own thing after a little while. Yeah. And you don't want to be.
His British accent is just sexy as fuck.
It's a dope accent. He does a good. Did you ever watch? He was in Good Time. The same directors who did Uncut Gems.
Oh, really?
Did that one, and he plays this Long Island dude from New York.
This man plays a Long Island,
and he nails it with the accent. The movie's great, but yeah, he was in Good Time as well.
Ooh, that does remind me of this weekend, or literally yesterday. I finally watched again for the bajillionth time, Mystery Men. I want to watch that movie. Having watched it now that I'm 33, this movie has no plot. It honestly has no plot.
It's more just like jokes, right?
I still love it. It's still a good movie. I still have a huge crush on the bowler.
Oh yeah, what's her face?
Yeah,
she's dope.
I didn't realize she had a huge career on SNL before she was in films.
Did she? Okay. Yeah. I know she's a comic too. Now I want to rewatch this with my nephew. I feel like he would dig this too, but does it hold up? Is it Is it weird, or is it I feel like it's enough for a kid to actually get into it.
I think the thing that blows my mind is like this movie came out around the same time as like that Batman movie that like killed the Batman franchise for a
Batman
while.
Forever.
And this has a similar budget, clearly, with the special effects. The special effects are off the chain. It still has like Kel back before Kel quit his time in Hollywood from Kenan and Kel.
Oh, right. He is in that.
Also, I remember the guy with the helmet, the shoveler, right?
Yeah.
As soon as I was watching, I'm like, whatever the fuck happened to this guy's career? I say this, all right? I say, what happened to the shoveler's career? Then I log into Amazon, and it immediately pulls up Shameless. I'm like, thank you, Amazon. You didn't have to be that obvious.
I was going to say.
To answer that question.
He's had success for sure after this.
I forgot about Shameless.
Henry Winkler? No, Henry Winkler. That's the Fonz. You have the guy from...
No, it's Pee-wee.
Pee-wee. There we go.
Pee-wee Herman. What's his name? Who... That's probably, out of all this show, I think... This is the thing people like to complain about. Like, you can't make the show today.
Sure.
You probably would have to
Cook.
cut out, what's his face? The Blue Raja.
As far as the racist tone on it, he's not playing it heavy-handed, but yeah, that is happening.
No, they kind of bring it up in the movie. He's like, no, technically, yes. The British, we dominated the Indians in this regard, and the person just cuts him off like, okay, buddy.
Yeah.
So they do cover it.
At least they're smart enough then even to like still reference like, hey, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah. But it's fun, but also the bad guys just keep letting them live.
Yeah.
It's like, we have all these guns. We're going to beat you with bats. Stop doing that. Just kill them.
Yeah, we rewatched this maybe like 2 years ago, and I thought it was still funny. So yeah,
it's still funny. This scene is still great.
Yeah, because he turns invisible if no one's watching, right?
What is going on? I'm sorry. I don't think the people online are seeing what in the fuck is going on with these subtitles, because all of this is wrong.
Oh yeah, they're auto-generated, so they're usually wrong.
I want wigs. Yeah. Elderly woman fretting.
She's not elderly.
Oh, that hurts my soul. She's younger then than I am now.
It's Janine Garofalo.
I want a wig. I want toupee.
Yeah,
that is Janine Garofalo.
They're trying. These bots are trying, you know. They're not going to take over yet because they still haven't mastered auto-generating
red
subtitles.
eye, leading, laughing.
Watches. Yeah.
Ooh,
right. So it's like if you do need these subtitles to tell you what's going on, you have no idea what's going on.
I forgot.
At least the YouTube subtitles.
This was also the big one, Smash Mouth, when they did All-Star.
Oh, yeah.
The music video is literally the tryouts
to
the song. I forgot about that.
Yeah, this is them peak Smash Mouth.
Apparently he's been canceled now. Apparently he did a Nazi rant at a concert recently.
I don't know if it was Nazi. I watched it. It was a TikTok that showed the same thing. Yeah, so it was him. He was very drunk, and he's kind of doing a bunch of like he's phoning it in basically because they've been spending a couple years just playing fairs. Like they even played our fair not that long ago.
Yeah.
And I think he's had enough, and he's not walking on the sun anymore. So, but hopefully he'll get back there. Yeah. But this Batman trailer.
We got so far away.
But I mean, what else can you say? It's dope. So dope.
I like the Riddler.
Yeah, the Riddler's good. He's very similar to the Joker on the side or in one aspect because he's so crazy, but he's way more into the like layering of these tricks. He's one step ahead. Yeah. You have what's her face, Zoe Kravitz as not Batgirl, as Catwoman,
as Butler.
Yeah, you have Golem.
Ooh, I started watching Batman versus Superman for the 30th time this weekend.
30th? Why would you spend that much time?
I can't get through it. It is boring.
But why would you keep trying to watch it?
I want to get through it.
Hold on,
but
okay.
It keeps being boring.
So you'd rather try and watch Batman versus Superman 30 times, but there's all these Marvel movies that you're like, oh, I guess I'll get around to it. It's like there's so many good superhero movies.
At me, bro.
You're trying to watch this one that is notorious for being bad. You know what? Those we watch on theaters.
I hear what's his name does a fantastic Bruce Wayne.
He is good as Bruce Wayne. Yeah, Ben Affleck.
Sure, but the movie's still boring.
It sucks, but you know what? There's some cool action scenes, especially when he has like that power armor on.
Right.
There's cool aspects to it. Zack Snyder, he's good visually, but it's like story-wise, a lot of his movies kind of fall apart.
Ooh, that was the other thing I watched. So, are you aware they made like an Animatrix style film, which I was watching more of the Animatrix for Batman?
No, but that doesn't surprise me.
It's called Batman Gotham Knight, and
Different stories.
Yeah, just different. It seems like at least the first two. I haven't got through. This is my second watch through. Oh fuck, this is not it.
It's not it. Gotham Knights trailer. This looks like a game.
Yeah, this is a game. Is this the new game?
No, because that. Oh, you know what? That
Yeah.
is Gotham Knights. Okay.
Yeah, this is the new one.
So it's a CG. Are you sure they call it the same thing?
No.
Maybe Batman anime. Is it anime style?
Yeah.
No, it's not the one that was on Netflix, right? The like.
Batman Gotham Knight. Clearly,
Gotcha.
I was right. I
You're
don't
one
know why
letter off.
Borat came out just there.
That's your go-to.
And
That
this
or
is
Bill
the
Cosby.
anime, which is different. This looks like.
I have heard really good things about. No, yeah. So there's one. It's the same one. Yeah.
Yeah. This is different. This is Batman when he time travels back to like
Oh.
feudal Japan. I hear this is good.
I've heard really good things about this.
But yeah, Batman Gotham Knight. I was watching some more of that on HBO, and it's so fucking cool to have all these artists take their own perspective.
Yes.
But as they reach the end of like a section of the story, then they switch off, and it's really cool. I just like the one at the very start where like Batman is a shadow that's fighting another shadow.
Oh. You know, they did something very similar with Star Wars recently, where they had these different stories that they all have like an anime theme visually to them.
Right.
But they did that.
I hear that was great, but it was inspired by like a guy that did a passion project on YouTube with those TIE fighters. It's insane.
And they sued him to hell, but then they said, "Cool, we're going to take that idea though."
They
and
better
make it.
not have that video. Was
That's
insane.
usually what they do.
Dude. Rewatching the Animatrix, I've changed my mind. I love the skateboarding one.
Yeah.
The track and field one is just better because he frees him fucking self. He doesn't know what the Matrix is. He frees himself from it.
Gavin,
That is insane.
You're speaking my fucking second language. That one especially I love because he's just by his physical feats, he wakes himself up out of the Matrix. And there's that it's like a Olympic race or whatever where he has to push himself so hard he pushes out of the Matrix, and for like a couple seconds he glimpses what's going on, and then he becomes paralyzed after like just like the tumble afterwards. But cool.
The agents paralyze him.
I thought it's when he rolls,
still frees himself again, and they do it again. Like, what a fucking monster!
You know what's my favorite from this is just because it fills in some backstory is the Renaissance part 1 and 2, where they talk about the war that happens. They show the war,
Is this the
which
first
is nuts.
one?
I want to say it's one of the first episodes, but it's like 2 parts. They talk about how the robots rise up and then the war that happens.
I think
it's really fucking good. Yeah, now I'm gonna go back and watch it. Animatrix. Thank you, Gavin.
I'm
good.
only halfway through it, but
there's the kids that find that weird glitch they keep playing with.
that was cool. That was one of the last ones I finished, and I like the fact that like you can tell that Keanu and what's her face are actually voicing.
Is it Carrie Ann Moss? Maybe. Well, at least she's the main other protagonist, but
right. So that you can tell they have their voices.
Yeah. No, I think they lent their voices for this for sure.
Yeah, it's
and that fight, the actual battle, the first battle with the machines is so dark.
We stood no chance.
Oh yeah, and it's just
absolutely no chance.
And we had a chance to like make amends with the robots. Nope. I love it. They actually had a good. At the time, it was really advanced CG.
Fucking hated this one.
I don't remember much about it.
The whole thing is just a test.
Oh right.
And so she's just pissed at the end, and I'm right there with her. Fuck that story.
Gotcha. Yeah, there's one it's the only CG version in this in the Animatrix, but they played it during the beginning of the second Matrix movie. Like it was played before the movie, and it was really cool. But it was like advanced CG for the time.
So this was my previous favorite, the skateboarding one. The thing I
cool.
do love about it, so it gets as they're in the action scene, it gets the art gets more and more fucked up. Like
the way they move around,
yeah. The sound effects, though, I never noticed the sound effects are amazing. You are in every second.
The animation, too, for that skateboarding one is really dope. The way he's moving around, like just the way they animate the movement is really cool.
That was the thing I forgot. He saved himself. He also saved himself. He killed himself, and they still pulled him out of the goop.
I forget that part. I
He's
need to
the
watch
only
it.
person that's ever done that. That's insane.
Oh yeah, to pull yourself out. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Although
you
that
die in the
kid-
Matrix, you die for real. This guy said, no, you're saving me, Neo. And Neo's like, no, you saved yourself.
Are you talking about the kid, not the racer, right?
Yeah, the kid. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, because he pretty much like commits suicide. I guess spoiling for this super old thing, but
I mean, it's 20 years old at this
and
point.
it's awesome. Like, go watch
It
it.
is.
Go watch it.
But he thought Neo was going to swoop in and save him
But he did it.
all the way to the point where he died.
So that's the
He saved
kid
himself.
in the second Matrix who's like a fanboy for Neo when he comes back to Zion.
that him?
That's the same kid. Yeah.
That's not him.
Yeah. That's a tie-in. Yeah, that's the same kid.
Fuck.
It's dope, right?
I don't know what to do with that.
I don't
piece of
remember much about this
information.
one, this black and white one, Noir.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, I need to. There's some that I ended up not watching, which is crazy.
Well, I got a little confused at the first when they do that like feudal Japan one because I forgot until I rewatched The Matrix. The start of The Matrix is at like the height like in 2000 like no, it's not even 2000. It's
further
like
out.
1995.
Yeah, as far as like their version of that time frame, but I know like
that's
time
when
has
people
passed.
would accept this reality as like this is our shit.
Yeah, that's one thing, and that's what's crazy about the Matrix is the just the mentality or the story as it exists with like real life, where the robots try to make versions of the Matrix that people would actually accept. The first one was Utopia, and then people revolted against that. They needed some kind of resistance to actually have like a life where they would accept it, which is super weird and interesting with just human life and the fact that we need to struggle and whatnot.
I believe it. We got people right now who are like, hey, you can be cured from a virus. No.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yes, they will fight it. Although now the whole red pill, blue pill has been, co-opted into different meanings too. It's like the Matrix is still around in our lives, just the movie in general. I'm super stoked for the next one. I can't say like, I hope they don't fuck it up. They can't, fuck it up. We have the original 3. They're dope. The Animatrix is dope. I just don't know if we needed a 4th continuing the story, but I'm still super interested to see what they do with it.
So 2 things on that. I mean, I think they can do it. I'm praying.
It's possible.
Actually, 3 things on that. I hear there is a Matrix clip hidden into the new Venom movie.
I haven't seen it. We watched Venom.
You watched the new
I
Venom?
forgot about that.
Ah, fuck. I want to hear. I hear it's better than the last Venom. The last one. I didn't realize Andy Serkis
He directed it.
is directing this shit. The king of CG body animation. Very talented man. I hear Venom 1 was a little too serious, had too many plot lines going. Venom 2, they were like, fuck it, let's go.
I thought it sucked, but I didn't.
Thought Venom 2 sucked?
Yes, but I didn't like the first one that much either. But if you turn off your brain, it's fun sequences. It's just the comedy that they try and do doesn't work for me. But we went, and I actually wasn't going to watch in theaters. My nephew, he's huge into Venom. He's like, we got to watch it. It's like, okay. We watch it for him. It's fine. It's just not for me. And it's a bummer because that's a cool character. And I think they're giving people what they want. This movie has had a bunch of ticket sales. It's like super successful. So I think they're hitting that key demographic. For me, it's not for me.
Gotcha.
But you might dig it. I think Woody Harrelson's Carnage is weird, but
I also just have a huge man crush on Tom Hardy that will never go away.
same here. That's 90% of why I still watch this franchise here.
I am concerned with Woody Harrelson because it's like he seems to be approaching who's the Con Air guy?
Oh, Nicolas Cage?
Nicolas Cage territory, because when he's on, he's all the way on, and when he's not, these movies are bad.
Yeah. If he's phoning it in, you can tell, kind of thing. But if there's a cool role, it's like I think he's a right fit for it. It's just, man, it's fine. I can't even say I hate it. It's just like it's not for me at the end of the day. So I can respect it and put it aside. It's for other people that want this.
All right.
But,
I also kind of hate Carnage, but I love
why?
Venom.
Carnage is dope. He's a really cool
is just
villain.
a huge stressor. He's just like the sand and the cogs. He's there to cause stress.
He's a
in
villain.
The plot line.
That's how villains work, Kevin.
He's overpowered.
True. You know what? There's like 10 different symbiotes in this series.
Yeah.
So he's just one of them. But the way they end it, and I won't say anything, but the way they end this movie is pretty fucking nuts.
Right.
So the ending made up for the entire movie for me. But
wow.
I will say that.
That's pretty cool.
Yes.
That being said, back to movies again. We've been talking about movies a
Mhm.
lot, but I don't know why, but they gave out the review preview for Ghostbusters, the new
Oh,
one
are the
already.
reviews or previews? I think you're right. I think it's actual
Yeah,
reviews,
they
right?
watched it and they're giving out reviews well over a month in advance, and critics are going nuts for this Ghostbusters. Apparently, they put the whole of this movie on these kids' shoulders and they knock it out the fucking park. And I have to wait a whole month for this.
I think maybe similar with games where if they're really confident on the reception, they'll release those reviews earlier. Sometimes they'll like the embargo lifts the day the game day comes out.
Right.
But I don't care at all about Ghostbusters, especially this new one. But I'm glad that they're hitting possibly the marks that you want to see because I know you love Ghostbusters.
Oh, it's yeah.
This one maybe I have a bit more interest in it. At the same time, I'm not going to go out of my way.
As a newer-ish viewer, apparently the girl in the glasses, her, is, and there's a kid named Podcast who he calls himself Podcast because he has a podcast.
I'm sure there's kids named Podcast too.
Apparently those two kids alone just knocked.
Is there a kid named Bitcoin too and OnlyFans?
They knocked this movie out the park. And then also Paul Rudd. They said one review described, that's Podcast right there. Described Paul Rudd as Paul Ruddiest, which I don't get in the trailers. I feel like Paul Rudd is Paul Ruddiest.
Wait, the kid that seems like they would say the least is Podcast?
Yeah,
the recluse that just lives inside?
That's the main character.
Oh, okay.
So that's the main girl that's going to carry the story. And I guess this little kid next to her.
Oh, I see it here.
That guy.
That's Podcast. Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
That's Podcast. And apparently he's also just absolutely hilarious and amazing. So those two are going to carry the story, and Paul Rudd is also.
I forget amazing. Paul Rudd is in it, and that's also he's Tom Hardy for me as well. Where it's like I'll watch whatever he's in.
Yeah,
he's hilarious.
No, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, it's weird that reviews are out so early, but that shows that they're confident, and it seems like it's obvious that it's an actual sequel. They've kind of scrapped the last one.
So that's the thing, and they said it works really well for new audiences. These kids don't know about the Ghostbusters.
Mm-hmm.
They have no clue.
Which, judging from the trailer, since I've seen this trailer twice now, with the last two movies we watched, James Bond and Venom, they played the same Ghostbusters trailer. Mm-hmm. But it seems like they exist in a world where the Ghostbusters existed, they happened, but everyone forgot about them for some reason. But how do people forget the ghosts are real, and there's people that fought them in New York? How did they forget that?
So that happened, but they sealed off essentially the conduits for the ghosts to flourish through.
Sure.
And that was both movies. They had these big, they had more ghosts.
But they exist,
and they shut that off.
Depeche 83 says, "Wow, fuck you, Fonzie." So, was that for Ghostbusters or for Carnage? I don't know. There's so many things that I could be wrong about. But yeah, I just find it weird that like they exist in a world where ghosts are confirmed that they're real,
right? And
the kids are like, "Yeah, whatever, I'm gonna play Fortnite." Like they don't care.
Well, but that's even in the second Ghostbusters. Like the first Ghostbusters happened, these people go, "No, they were tricking us all with gas."
Oh,
and this was like
it was like the anti-vaxxers, conspiracy theorists. Now we're doing that with ghosts. Then
pretty similar. It was a no. I mean, there is a term for it. It's like
Alex Jones is
a hallucination, and that's the whole thing.
With Ghostbusters, I'm insulted. I just it doesn't do it for me. And even trying to watch those original ones, they're just rough for me. It's something about the comedy. I like the effects. I think they're cool. It's just like the comedy for me is just like I'm not in it. But maybe this new one would be cooler.
I hope so.
I'm just not going to go out of my way to watch it. If it's like on my phone as I'm taking a poop and I'm duct taping, I have to like sit and watch it. And I can't put a pen in my neck.
Being stuck on a plane having to watch something, which is how I watched Ghost Rider 3 times.
Yeah, no Marvel movies at all. But Ghost Rider 3
I mean, that's a Marvel movie. Come on now.
I guess, man. I guess.
I was on the plane back from Japan, and it's like, I've watched everything else. I guess we're watching this one 2 more times.
You know what? A great way to cap off a Japan trip, Ghost Rider 3 times. Jesus. Oh, that's a long trip, though, right? So what, 8 hours or something?
It's over 12.
Good God.
On the plane.
Are they accepting people in Japan yet?
Probably not.
I think they're pretty, like, locked down.
They got hit one of the hardest out of everyone.
Well, I forget if they got hit or they just like locked the borders down, just like Australia or New Zealand, where they just weren't letting people in. That helped them, but I forget.
I thought they got hit, just hard in general.
Gotcha.
We should probably get back to the game.
Yeah. So Ghostbusters is happening. I'm not going to watch it, but I'm glad that people do like it.
duct tape your eyelids open. All right.
But at least we see eye to eye on Animatrix. Fucking love Animatrix.
Oh, it's so good. I need to finish.
Alrighty, Gavron, we got some game
Are we
news.
bringing back the blades? Is that what I'm seeing?
Sort of, yeah. So Xbox announced its 20th anniversary event. So this is what we're seeing as far as the blades go. They have some throwback stuff on their website. So this is on the Xbox website, just kind of as a throwback to the 360 era. So this is from Matt Purslow of IGN. Microsoft has announced an Xbox anniversary celebration to mark 20 years of Xbox. It's also made clear that no new games will be announced during the show, but just to temper expectations. But it's a stream they're going to announce or have pretty soon. Announced on Xbox Wire blog, the Xbox Anniversary Collection will take place on November 15th. They're not going to announce any new games. Announcement comes alongside a roadmap for the next 3 months of Xbox Game Pass. On October 28th, Age of Empires 4 will be released on Game Pass for PC. It will be followed by Minecraft, which finally lands on Game Pass for PC on November 2nd. And
Has that not been a thing?
that's what I thought too, but it's finally coming there. Forza Horizon 5 drops on November 9th for Game Pass, and Flight Simulator lands on November 18th, Game of the Year edition. And then finally, Xbox runs out the year with Halo Infinite on December 8th. But yeah, they're doing a lot of throwback stuff. I'm wearing my Xbox throwback hoodie that they have a lot of cool merch on their site. If you're a nerd like me, I would say check it out because they have some super dope stuff.
I am glad to know in 2021 that Game of the Year edition still means nothing.
Yeah, it's just a fancy way for them to compile stuff or resell something. But yeah, 20th anniversary. Doesn't feel like 20 years, but
Nope.
did you have an original Xbox when it came out or a 360? I think I remember us going to buy you a 360 when Gears of War came out.
Gears of War 2.
Was it Gears of War 2? I think you might be right.
Well, no, you guys, I was playing Gears on, like, I'd come over and we'd do LAN nights, so I was playing Gears on your guys' Xboxes.
Yeah. But at some point you're like, I'm going to buy one of these.
No, I think I bought it, but I wasn't paying rent.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We were like in high school.
Yeah.
But
all that money is right to the video game account.
Which I love that. I want to go back to that time where I didn't have to pay rent. But yeah, I remember us going maybe like a Best Buy or something. And you're like, you know what? I'm going to buy this. And then we came back, played Gears of War all night. It was freaking dope. I do miss the
nose jokes. A lot of nose jokes. Because we were landing like 8 Xboxes together to play Gears of War.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, and I shot you around that corner because your nose came around.
I see. Yeah, of course. I think we all had our own TV as well. It's like we were all separate in your house, just like all spread out, same landline. I do miss that era of gaming where it's like you had to, of course, you had to have friends and stuff, but but it was cool to be like physically around playing. Multiplayer is still dope, online for sure. But there was something special that I sound like an old man, but like these kids aren't going to be able to experience. But it is really cool.
I mean, that was my hope with like cloud gaming, right? You show up, you either got your Xbox, you got a PC, you have a phone. Let's all hook up together and just play.
That's very possible.
Kind of can, but you gotta have a lot of bandwidth.
I think as we're talking about Xbox, if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be Xbox. They already have xCloud that's streamable, pretty much everywhere. They have all their support for iOS, for Android, for older Xboxes, for newer Xboxes. Like that's the place. If you want to do that, you can do that with Xbox, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, LANs were
a thing. It was a cord you plugged in. I know that's amazing for people to understand. But yeah, we got our next one here, Gavaroni. That's just a little update about that event. So we got some rumors about Ubisoft making Splinter Cell again. This is from Matt Purslow of IGN. Ubisoft has reportedly greenlit development of a new mainline Splinter Cell game. If the rumor proves true, it will be the first core entry in the Tom Clancy stealth series since 2013's Splinter Cell Blacklist. A report from VGC claims multiple development sources have revealed that a new Splinter Cell is in an early phase of production with a small chance of the game being announced in 2022. So it is, we've heard, various like sort of rumors in the past couple of years we've been doing this, but this one seems the most legit recently, with places like IGN covering it, talking about how it seems like it is possible. It's just it's a no-brainer, right? Because this property is loved by a lot of people. Right. So it seems like they've been taking too long really to bring this back to life, but I'm glad that hopefully this is actually happening.
Right.
Do you have a place in your heart for a Splinter Cell? Did you play these?
Not really, but I think I forget what that Splinter Cell, which was one of the ones where
Blacklist was 2013.
Was that its return to form? Maybe
that one. I think they were almost fighting fatigue with the series, right? So they had to like change it up. And I want to say that one was different enough where it wasn't the most loved, but there's maybe it's benefited them by having so much time off. People want like this standard, just classic stealth only, you know, Metal Gear Solid kind of game. So maybe it benefits them by taking some time off.
I think the thing that it did that it doesn't really get enough credit for is it had a lot of innovations. It had that whole like you're on the corner of a piece of cover and you can see options in the UI around you. You can right, like it says stuff on the environment. Like that would not be in Deathloop if it were not for
Oh sure, yeah, the building blocks like other games have learned from this and have, you know, innovated on top of this stuff for sure.
Yeah, so making you feel like a predator, that Batman, whatchamacall,
yeah, like a Batman.
Arkham Asylum probably wouldn't even have without this game. So
very true.
A lot of games owe a lot to that particular one. That being said, I don't care.
Really, damn. You know what? I guess when this first came out, so when I bought my original Xbox, this is one that people really love. So I ended up either I want to say renting because I didn't buy anything back then, but I didn't realize how much I would love it. And I played the hell out of the first one, the second one for sure.
Sure, yeah.
Something about the way that it is sort of complex with all the different stuff you can do, but once you wrap your head around it, you're sneaking around. There's a lot of different options for traversal. You can hide through the pipes. You have your night vision, your heat vision. You just feel like a badass sneaking around. And a lot of the games that I play now, I'll try and sneak as like my first route. I want to say it's possibly from Splinter Cell from playing this so many times. But I don't know if games still, this one like focused so hard on being stealthy, that a lot of games don't go that route anymore. They give that option where if shit goes down, you're going to fight like hand to hand or something, right, which you can still do here, but it's really like you're trying to be stealthy.
Right.
And
which was this game's separation from Metal Gear Solid.
True, yeah, because you could still like shoot and stuff in Metal Gear Solid, which I want to go back and play those original Metal Gears, but MGS1 is really rough for me as far as like movement goes. I've tried
the first room. I really struggle.
I'm on the same boat with you. I tried. Me and Callum were like for the PlayStation podcast, we're talking about like let's go back and play some of these. That was one where I just could not get through it. He ended up beating it. It's like I can't get past this first area just because it's so wonky for me to retrain my brain for the movement and stuff. So I'm hoping there's rumors of them rebooting it or remastering it rather. I would love for that to happen, but Splinter Cell was awesome. And it was also just graphically nuts and it showed off the Xbox's power really well. So I'm hoping this rumor is legit, but that is, the scuttlebutt going on right now with Ubisoft. And at least now it's not like, oh, we're bringing back Splinter Cell and now he's a Fortnite character or he's, on the cereal box. That's all it's been for the past couple of years.
It will be. I'm pretty sure he already is.
But like in the past, it's like he's coming back for this mobile game or something else. It's like, no, we want an actual Splinter Cell game. Seems like hopefully we're getting it pretty soon, or eventually. But yeah, we got that going down. I'm going to pause that. Next one here, Gavin, is some news on Dbrand. I don't know if you remember them. Dbrand reveals new PS5 dark plates days after pulling the original. So this is a company that had some heat because they were offering a third-party skin or like the fins rather, the plates for the PS5.
Okay.
So they got a cease and desist back when it happened. This is about almost a year ago now, about 8-10 months ago. They got a cease and desist because they're trying to just sell these back plates. They were optional back plates, which if you go on eBay or other third-party sites, like I bought replacement back plates online, but because they're on the forefront, their company is trying to do this and that's their whole bread and butter. They got cease and desist orders. I guess they're going back to it now and selling these. So the actual story here is from TheVerge.com. Jay Peters. Dbrand has revealed a brand new design for its PS5 dark plates just days after yanking the originals from sale. If you weren't familiar with the original dark plates, they looked exactly like the side shells of the PS5, but instead of being white, they were matte black. In its marketing of the first version, the company baited Sony to go ahead, sue us, and Sony unsurprisingly followed up with a legal threat. Yeah. Shockingly, just days after making a big public stink about Sony forcing it to pull the old version, Dbrand is already ready with a new design. So it looks like they have changed this enough to where the lawyers can't stop them, but they've added some vents. It's also kind of a rounded edges instead of the pointy fins. But yeah, that is happening. It looks pretty slick. Man,
this designer they hired for
the website.
Yep,
it's pretty dope. There's a lot. The only thing I have a problem with this brand is if you read a lot of their disclaimers, they're very like edgelordy, trolly with the way that they talk about being sued and like attacking Sony. It's like, okay, I get it, but you're selling, something for a Sony product.
Right.
They're just so heavy-handed with how it's a lot of jokes everywhere. It's like, I get it, dude. But that's my only issue with that.
That being said, with like particularly with a paint I love called Black 3.0, I do sometimes love this.
the jokes, the trolling.
Oh man,
it can work
on who you're dealing with. If who you're dealing with is a huge d-bag, let 'em have
it. yeah.
In this case, it's Sony. You know what you're dealing with. Yeah,
and they're a huge corporation. It's like, what do you want them to do? But they are coming back, and so you can buy these at some point. I think their pre-orders are live now. But move on to the next one here. Elden Ring delayed to February. Network test announced.
Ooh, that new trailer looked cool.
I haven't seen a new trailer. I pulled up one of the trailers, but there was some gameplay that leaked that I have after this too. So this is from Michael McWhirter of Polygon. From Software's Elden Ring will be released on February 25th, 2022. Developer and publisher Bandai Namco announced Monday. That's a month-long delay for the open-world action RPG, which was previously slated to launch in January. So it is now... A month is the end of the world, but yeah.
I feel like these guys release... So they're like a Zelda-inspired game. They release 3 games per Zelda title.
It's possible, yeah. So this is a trailer back from June.
They have a new one that just came out like yesterday.
Interesting. Okay.
You type that again in Google.
I will type it. Well, so I have it already searched right here. Elden Ring trailer. We see 4 months ago, 3 days ago. That's the leak video, which I have ready to go.
It's the 3 days.
It's 30 seconds.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah. Did you watch this? Maybe you watched this 4 months ago, which is the video that I have.
I didn't think so.
No. Well, here's the actual leak, which is who knows at what point of the development this is from, but
based
here it
on
is.
Those textures, I'd say a while ago.
The way the camera moves, like the animation, or the frame rate's a little weird, but it does look like everything's there, the open world. Sure. You're jumping around like an asshole. But I know people are incredibly jacked for this game. I've made my peace with the whole Demon Souls type of games where I know this is not for me. This one might still sucker me into it, because if I get any hint in the reviews that like it's somewhat approachable, I'm in. Like I was with Demon Souls Remaster, right. But I know that I'm not going to have fun with it. Right. But I know that people love the style of gameplay. They've been excited for this for a long time. But yeah, got a leak here. This was last week that this leak happened, but the game has been delayed a month, which isn't the end of the world. So it is coming. Bald Eagles confirmed. Yep. So we got nothing confirmed. Gavin, Grand Theft Auto Trilogy is getting remastered for PC and consoles, including Nintendo Switch. This is from TheVerge.com. Cameron Faulkner. After several rumors, last week Rockstar confirmed that Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, San Andreas are all three getting HD remasters. They'll be released in a package called Grand Theft Auto The Trilogy, the Definitive Edition. The collection is coming to PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and more surprisingly, the Nintendo Switch will host them too. It will come to iOS and Android in the first half of 2022. Pricing and release date info hasn't been shared. So yeah, we got a remaster. I know it leaked maybe in the time that we were not recording, but it did leak, and it seems like a no-brainer at this point. But you've been able to buy these for the past 20 years or whatever, right. 15 years. But this is like an HD collection remaster of some sort. Now this is original footage of the Grand Theft Auto 3. This is how it looked. It's running on a PS4 on the YouTube video we're watching, but it's the same game. Did you play Grand Theft Auto 3 at all?
Yeah, I'm almost dating some guy, and I hang out with their
You work for
buddies.
Rockstar?
Yeah, no, but his son had Grand Theft Auto, and I didn't actually know there was a plot to it for the longest time.
Yeah.
I was just running around
killing
racking up
hookers.
as many stars as I could. This does feel weird because they call it like the Grand Theft Auto trilogy. Are these plots even connected?
They exist in the same world, just different regions, but I don't think much beyond that. Sometimes they'll reference another character, but it's not like an arcing story.
It is weird, though, going back and looking at Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, though, because that plot, they went for edgy with that one. They were going for it. They had Samuel fucking Jackson on that one. I feel like they had some other, pretty famous voice actors.
Yeah, after Vice City, they really started stepping it up, and of course now it's the best of the best, right. Voice actors and actors in general. But
yeah,
Did you, in your household, were you allowed to play this kind of
Yep.
stuff? Was it under the radar?
Absolutely not. I was
Yeah.
not allowed to play Mortal Kombat.
Really?
Yep.
See, I guess, yeah, Mortal Kombat makes sense with, at least unlike Sega or whatever, where you're ripping spines out. Even though it's pixelated, it looks like, a children's show compared to stuff now.
Right.
But at the time, yeah, it was crazy. And this one lets you actually do stuff. Like you're obviously murdering people, you're picking up hookers. It's a crazy game. But yeah, I remember when this came out, it was a huge deal. I wanted to find a system that I could actually play this on. Just the fact that you can go anywhere, you could, pick up cars, drive anything. It was in 3D too, which was nuts. It was a huge game.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
Like the physics, everything. Like the motion blur. Don't let the motion blur in this clip fool you. This game was
It was for its time. It was dope.
Yeah.
Now, this is the actual footage of the gameplay going. I have another here. This is a PC remaster that people have been doing for years of
course,
Grand Theft Auto 3. This is from
this looks like the intro to the game.
it could be, I believe it is, yeah. So this is from Inter on YouTube here, but this is their own created remaster of it, and
Jesus
it looks
Christ,
nuts.
this
There's
one
reflections on
looks better
reflections.
than the newest Grand Theft Auto.
It's pretty crazy.
Well, no, those buildings look kind of weird.
Now the new HD remaster, it's going to have improvements to gameplay, but they haven't gone into detail on what the graphical overhauls are. But I don't think we're going to see something like this. They have mentioned it's going to come to Switch eventually on iOS and Android. The fact that that's going to be there, I don't think we're going to see some kind of like Grand Theft Auto 5 engine running this stuff.
Gotcha.
So it is kind of not a bummer, but it's like, it's going to be a slightly prettier GTA collection, but I just wouldn't hold your hopes that it's going to be something like this.
I'd be really curious what they do with, you say, gameplay tweaks. Like, I think the gunplay in these games wasn't very good until 4.
Yeah, until 4 and even 5, they really rammed it home with just improving the way you would actually have deal with combat in general. But the driving was fun in the third one. I don't remember if the physics were too floaty, but I just haven't played those originals in so long. But this looks nuts. I don't think it's going to look like this, but there is finally some kind of HD remaster for these games. So that is cool. They have confirmed it over at Rockstar. Where's my mouse? I even made my mouse yellow so I could see where it is.
Where is it?
Yeah, exactly. It still blends in. It depends on what we're looking at. But some news on Metroid Dread. Metroid Dread is already running on Switch emulator. So I pulled this up. I don't know if you caught over the last weekend when Dread came out. Kotaku posted this article. It's Metroid Dread is already running on Switch emulators. They got a lot of heat for this. So here's the actual.
It's not a looker.
Here's the thing. It's not that aspect of it. It's the fact that they've been getting a lot of heat because they ran an article kind of promoting emulation, or people just kind of ripping the game and playing it online. I guess there are Switch emulators on PC already, and you can find the ROM version of this and just steal it basically online. Sure. They're saying that it runs pretty good on PC. You can do 4K, unlock frame rates, blah blah blah. So once they posted this, the Twitter sphere just kind of blew them up because it seemed like they're promoting people not buying the game the weekend it came out. And it's also looking at Metroid. It's a franchise that traditionally doesn't sell that great. There's been a long time without entries. So for them to go that weekend and go, hey, you know what? How about you maybe steal the game and play it on PC? That isn't exactly what they're saying,
right?
But it's it's in the mix a little bit. They had some notes that they added to the article. So after they ran that original article, there's an editor's note. Per request by Nintendo, we have updated the article to generally reassert that Kotaku does not promote or encourage piracy. Kotaku declined to enact changes that blur the line between suggestions and aggressive line edits to preserve editorial independence. There's another update after that.
Does sound like a Kotaku article.
They've been kind of fucking going down a weird rabbit hole. I know they changed up some of the there's like a head person in charge of editorial. They changed whoever was in charge there, and they've gone more of this like trolley kind of angle for a lot of their games coverage. So there's another update after that. An earlier version of the story was understood by many readers to be a direct suggestion to illegally download this just released game. We regret this interpretation and apologize, as the original article did not meet our editorial standards. So they did, backtrack or at least add those little notes to the article, but the internet wasn't having it.
Yeah, because that's also not the way like editors work.
Yeah,
so.
It's also brought up another conversation about emulation in general and how important emulation is, but also not stealing a game. But sometimes they do overlap a little bit, right? There's games where you can't physically buy anymore, right?
No, there are very rare games that you can play via emulation. I am a huge proponent of emulation.
Yeah.
Yeah, even in this case, like you look at Breath of the Wild, right? Because that was on the Wii U,
Right.
it was emulatable immediately.
Gotcha. They had jailbreak the Wii U from the get-go.
Right,
I think even Nintendo put in like fail safes or whatever because they just gave up on that console. But
Right.
yeah, it's interesting and complicated where I think a lot of people support emulation, which I do myself as well. But it also turns into quickly, you don't want to go on the path of like, okay, I'm just going to steal everything and rip games. You don't want to do that. But also there is something to say for just preserving these older games, like say there's Atari games, NES, that are kind of stuck in the ether. But if you can have a way to continue them on, play them, that's dope to preserve them. But this is a game that just came out.
Right.
And I guess it's on your opinion of after reading the article of whether they suggest you do it or they're just saying that it's possible, which it is. It's weird. But also it's just not a great look for them when already they have a bad light on the internet right now with some of the changes they've made.
Right.
They've taken a lot of weird drastic turns with the actual site, but that was happening over the weekend. I did pull up. So here is the actual gameplay itself from Metroid.
I watched a speed run of this by Oats and Goats, and let me tell you, them final minutes are awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
This one is cool. I don't know if I'll end up paying the $60 for it. Just because I have a bunch of games I've already purchased, but it does look like it's worth it to me. It looks fun. I do like Metroid. I've never spent a bunch of time with the series, but it does look cool. So this is the actual game running. I think it looks fine. It's on a Switch, so it's like there's only so much they can do.
I feel bad that I don't like the series more because Samus is my favorite character in Smash.
But not playing the actual games.
Physics, that's cool.
It seems like they've added some, new puzzle stuff. I know there's the weird robots that chase you that can't die. I imagine you figure out how to kill them.
Those have been the fun thing watching speedrunners because they keep killing speedrunners.
Oh, so they're enough of a variable where you can't like plan for them.
They can instant kill you.
Gotcha.
So, but if they're in the process, you can hit the button at just the right time. People have a hard time hitting that button at just the right time.
I see.
I like Metroidvanias. I typically in the past have not liked Metroid games. So
gotcha.
It's a weird place.
It is, yeah. So this footage we're watching is from the actual Switch here, and then I have one of the rips online from the PC version. And it does look slightly better, but it's not like this leaps and bounds. Okay, it does look better, but it's not like
it's definitely 4K.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we're not even rendering it 4K.
Right. This is YouTube's, buffering or whatever they do to degrade it, but looks great. Some of the conversations that opened up after that too was like maybe Nintendo, they're not because they're 10 years behind, but maybe they do start to play around with PC releases for some games. This one could benefit it because it shows that it can be done where it can be unlocked, all these different graphical upgrades from just, having a higher end PC, but they just won't ever do that.
I think the bigger thing is they need to mess with higher end hardware. And
they also won't do that.
Their own games back with hardware, and they've been doing it for close to 10 years now.
See, I get that argument. I don't necessarily disagree, but at the same time, playing like Super Mario, oh boy, what's the one that launched on Switch? Odyssey. Playing that, Breath of the Wild, I'm still taken aback at how beautiful it does look for that hardware. It still looks great to me, but I'm of two minds where it's like, I think they look great. At the same time, are they limited graphically? They are.
I think 2 generations in a row, these devs have had to do the impossible with the minimal.
Yeah.
And if you gave them decent hardware, they would do the absolutely impossible with amazing hardware. Like it's just things you can't even comprehend. So
they could. Yeah. Although there's that saying, which I don't remember the exact saying, but it's like limitation breathes innovation, creativity, where they do have to, because it's like we have this limited amount of horsepower, what have you, they have to innovate and they create some amazing things, but also it's like throw them a bone and give them some extra hardware. Maybe these games come out faster, they can be more efficient. Yeah. I don't know, but kudos to the devs that are stuck on Switch and are creating amazing looking games. Like I loved how Odyssey looked, how Breath of the Wild looked. They're able to get some PC ports working on there, which I don't know how the fuck they do.
Right.
So it can be done, but it's a testament to the devs.
But does this game look that much better than the GameCube game?
I think, well, we're watching the PC version. Right. It does. But if we switch back here to the original.
Despite the resolution, doesn't look that much. Yeah.
Then a GameCube, I think we're looking at with rose-colored glasses, right? The GameCube does really look limited when you go back and play like Sunshine or look at Sunshine footage.
Right.
It does. Is it that far off? Does it look next gen? No, it doesn't. But I think it still looks cool. But I agree with your point where I think they are kind of limited somewhat. At the end of the day, though, are these games fun? That's probably the heart of it. And it seems like people do like it. But as long as they keep nailing the fun aspect of it, which seems like their priority with a lot of their first party stuff, it seems like they can keep doing this for a while. Right. As long as the games are fun, which seems like they are. But yeah, there was some heat with the Metroid Dread coming out. Do you think you'll play this at all? I know you're a Switch player every once in a while.
Nah.
Gotcha. I see.
Ooh, what do we have here?
Some news about We Happy Few.
Wow, this game is not, nor the studio, but in the news.
Right. Yeah, so it's finally we're getting some news here from We Happy Few Studio has doubled in size to make a narrative single-player Xbox exclusive game. This is Jared Moore of IGN. I'll play some B-roll here. Compulsion Games, the studio behind We Happy Few, says that it has doubled in size for its newest project, which will be a third-person, narrative-driven single-player game. Despite its current lack of details or official title, the upcoming game from Compulsion is reported to have gone into production only a few months after the release of We Happy Few, which initially entered early access in 2016. So they've been working on this for a while before gaining a full release 2 years later. According to Hodjas, I want to say that's their PR person, the new game is currently in full development, although the PR and community developer did also note that she has no idea when fans will get to see it. So no confirmation on when this is coming out, what they're working on, just the idea that it's going to be a third-person single-player game. But yeah, I know this has been, I will drag this title out or this dev out every once in a while when there's any kind of Xbox stream, right, thinking like maybe we'll see some news on this first party dev.
Xbox exclusive?
Yeah, so they bought them. Compulsion Games was bought by Xbox around the same time that Ninja Theory was bought as well a couple years back. This one, I never played it, but I liked it. Seemed really cool and weird. Uh-huh. And so I'm excited more so for what they do next, like maybe learning from stuff, whatever criticisms people had.
I hope so. I played it in early access, and it was very roguelite inspired, and that was confusing. So, like, take a BioShock game and try and make it more roguelike-y,
yeah,
with survival elements, and that's a lot to dislike.
I know later in that interview they mentioned they did a early access because of the roguelike stuff that they then tweaked. I don't know if did you play it anytime after that, or you kind of had your experience and left?
I hear the final release was pretty good. You have 3 campaigns basically that play very different from each other, and supposedly it's pretty good. I saw an AGD.
The Games on a Quick?
Yeah, those people.
Whatever it is.
Doing a speed run of all 3 back to back, and it was cool in that they were very different. I think the third person had like a gun.
Okay.
Which I don't think anyone else in this game has a gun. So the whole thing looks super interesting. So I appreciate that they're being very experimentative. My concern is this is the thing I've learned since this game is like when somebody just says like from the creator of blank,
yeah,
that means nothing. This is from the creators of BioShock. That means nothing. This is not BioShock.
Well, it means if it's that case, it's the creators of BioShock. It's just something to say there. Right. Although a lot of these teams move, like the people that are in there, they leave. So yeah, that studio might have made a game, but it's not the same studio 4 years later. People have left. But yeah, this is on my radar just because I'm excited for what they do next. Yeah. I wish I cared enough to play this game, but I like the weirdness that's going on.
I should give it another shot. The menus look much better than they used to.
Gotcha. So that
it
is...
It was very easy to die in the version I played.
I see.
Also, there was a lot more fog.
Okay, well, fog will take down a couple points here. So we got some news on Nintendo Switch Online. Expansion pack release date and price revealed. This from IGN. So I have the article going up here. So we talked about this a couple weeks ago. They have their new pricing tier if you want the Nintendo 64 games.
Right.
on Nintendo Switch Online. So we have Nintendo has confirmed that Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack will officially launch on October 25th. Nintendo has announced the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack membership, which will give Switch owners access to Nintendo 64 and Sega games, alongside Animal Crossing New Horizons, Happy Home Paradise DLC. All that will cost $50 a year, a $30 increase from the standard membership. Now that's a year. When I had this, I think I canceled at some point, but I was paying like $2 a month. I imagine that goes to what, $3 or $5 a month rather. So if you go month to month, it's not that crazy. But yeah, maybe $30 in addition for the whole year is a bit more. But you do get the N64 games. Some people are angry. It seems like it's locked into the New Horizons DLC, which a ton of people have bought and played that game. So there's some drama there that it's locked into this expansion pack. But we do have a price and the date, October 25th, which is we're on the 19th. So that is pretty soon.
The question I would have, as somebody who is mooching off of somebody else's Nintendo Online family plan, is, am I included?
I think so. I didn't pull that little disclaimer from there, but I did see stuff about family plan membership, including people. So I did see that. So I think that is confirmed.
This does remind me. Today, apparently, Sora has finally unleashed the final character in Smash, along with
forgot about that.
For the Mii Fighter, so we can finally have the Doomslayer with, what is her name, Paula from
New Horizons from Animal Crossing. Yeah,
they can finally be together.
Yeah, people freak the fuck out. I forgot to bring this up because I just don't care about Kingdom Hearts or less Smash, or I guess less Kingdom Hearts than Smash. But yeah, they announced this as the final character. It seems like people have wanted this for a long time.
Yeah, those spells do look exactly like they do in Kingdom Hearts.
Now, is this character already out?
Do such an amazing job of like staying accurate to the game. What were you saying?
Oh, is this game already, or this character already out? Can you already?
As of today.
Gotcha.
So
that's cool.
Doomslayer. Can we look up Smash Ultimate Doomslayer?
Yes.
And hopefully not find a bunch of fake footage, which we probably will.
Now, Doomslayer's in the game? Yeah. I didn't hear that.
Well, he's not. He's a skin for the
I see.
Amiibo.
Gotcha.
But
that is a way they've kind of added people afterwards that are not full-blown characters.
Absolutely.
I saw plenty of reaction streams to this. People like freaking the fuck out. Did you share that same with Sora, or was it more with the Doomslayer guy?
No, but I think Sora was the perfect ending.
Gotcha.
It's a character in a game about mashups in a game about mashups.
Now, after this, do they let Sakurai just ride off to the sunset, or like shoot the arrow into his casket, Viking style? Like, what do they do with him?
I feel like he's quit the industry several times,
right?
And they dragged him back for this game, and like this is it. Like he's earned the title of Smash Brothers Ultimate. You're not gonna get bigger than this.
Now, the series will continue on, right? That's inevitable. But I has to, right? They're going to keep making Switches or, the next iteration of Nintendo. This is a staple with Nintendo. Right. So can it exist without them? Do you think there's enough people that can just carry the mantle and keep it going?
I don't think so.
Sakurai
is a unique individual with very, you look at what he's worked on. It's very creative. He fully understands what he's working on when he does it. I don't.
The thing is, it's not just him, right? Working on stuff behind the scenes and the code and whatnot, the balancing.
Right.
There's teams of people. So I feel like, can a game exist without the original director? Like, can it continue on with another team?
It can. Like modern Zelda games, right? We haven't had.
Yeah, Miyamoto doesn't like.
Yeah, he hasn't been on a Zelda game since.
I think he has the say so on stuff, but is he there in the trenches? No.
No. But Sakurai is special. Sakurai is, I don't know. You see some of the stuff about him and what he's done online and how he tried to quit and why he tried to quit. Like he seems.
Which if he's trying to quit, let him go. Like you don't want someone who has to just, muster up the strength to do this.
Well,
it
seems like what they do with these games is like, hey, we're gonna release the Ultimate Smash Brothers, more players than anyone else. Do you want on it? Otherwise, we're just gonna wreck it without you. It's like, oh.
Now, what if
fine.
Going forward he stays on as an advisor? Say like a Miyamoto, where he will approve, disapprove different aspects of it, but he's not there. Like he can go home and sleep and see his family and stuff.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, let him at his creativity again. Let him at Kirby again. He hasn't touched Kirby since that racing game they made.
Oh, I didn't realize he was also working on Kirby.
He created Kirby.
Gotcha. Nice. Okay.
So.
But yeah, this is the last character for at least Smash Ultimate. but it's like this is a huge property. Something's going to happen eventually with this.
Yeah.
Maybe the next step they take is like some kind of whatever HD or 4K remaster for the next Switch. They buy them some time, but eventually it's like they're going to have to do something, the new entry in this.
Right. I just really hope they do proper support for the fighting community. Like, the fighting community has thrown tremendous support behind this game, and Nintendo has not returned the favor.
No, they just barely realized what the internet is. Seems like 5 years ago. So it's going to take them time, but you're right, because they help each other. Like the fighting community keeps this game afloat by just like adding the hype to it, by adding to streams to it, which it leads to sales. It's like it's back and forth.
Yeah.
But it seems like, Nintendo just doesn't. There's just a lot of things that are not on the radar, and it seems like, supporting community is also one of them.
Yeah.
Maybe Sakurai, I'm sure he's invested, he understands, but as far as whoever calls the shots, does not.
He looks like a 12-year-old. He should know how Twitter works.
Yeah. Gotcha. Well,
He looks younger than me. He's twice my age. No, he's not twice, but
is he? He's 53 like Daniel Craig?
50 something up.
Gotcha. But yeah, they announced that. I remember seeing stuff about it. I'm glad the internet dug it. Finally got Sora in there.
Sora.
From whatever the game's called, Kingdom Hearts.
They've been asking for that since 64.
Dang, it's been that long. That's crazy. But yeah, got some Nintendo news for those nerds out there. And that is it for us this week, Gavin. Nothing else for you. We can end it there. Where can they find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at DrunkDevs.
Awesome. Keep up the show as well on Twitter at PlasticCardPod. That's it for us this week. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.